I count the Harry Potter movies among my favorite movies of all time. They remind me of my childhood, of reading the books and being engulfed into the magical world created by J.K. Rowling. And it's become kind of a tradition in our home to rewatch the series every couple of years. So you can imagine my surprise when I heard that Warner Bros. Is working on a new Harry Potter series. I don't really know how to feel about this new upcoming iteration of some of my most beloved movies. But it is always fun to speculate about what we can expect. So, in this video, I'll take you through my hopes, concerns and expectations for the project and share some of the persistent rumors that are already making the rounds. The new Harry Potter series, which does not have a working title or name at this point in time, will not tell us a new story. The series will be a remake of the 8 movies that came before, but in television series format. This will most definitely mean the production team has more time to tell us the full story, not having the pressure of fitting entire books into a 2-hour movie. But this also brings me to my first concern. Because anyone that has read the Harry Potter books knows that the first 3 movies pretty much told their book story in full. We shouldn't forget that these books were originally written for children. Having at least 8 episodes to fill for a season based on, for example, the Philosopher's Stone, would be a challenge for any writing team. And my biggest concern is that this lack of source material will be supplemented by original content. When we take a look at the use of original content in fantasy television adaptations over the last 10 years, they have almost always left a bad taste in the audience's mouths. Some examples are the later seasons of Game of Thrones, the last 2 seasons of The Witcher and the trilogy of the Hobbit movies. When screenwriters have to come up with their own stories, they never achieve the same quality as the original. And these original stories are more often than not written from a certain political stance. I just hope that Harry Potter does not fall victim to the same phenomena as many others have in the past. This concern is mainly focused on the first 3 books though. As I said, these books were originally written for a target audience of children. But as these children grew older, the books became darker, more extensive and more intricate. Which leaves me under the assumption that the last 4 books have more than enough material to support an 8-episode season. The new Harry Potter series will be available to watch on HBO Max, or just Max as it is now known, when it releases. Aside from the fact this series will be a remake of the original movies, an interview with the CEO of HBO, Casey Blouse, gave us 2 important pieces of information. Firstly, they want to keep the series running for 10 years. If that means that some books will span more than 1 season, or that we will not get a season each year, we currently don't know. Furthermore, Casey stresses that they strive for a faithful adaptation of the original. Which at least is hopeful, but we've heard this statement before. The fact that the production team is mostly the same as it was for the movies, and that J.K. Rowling will be involved as an executive producer, gives me a lot of hope for a truly authentic Harry Potter experience. But then again, this doesn't necessarily mean anything. George R.R. Martin was involved in the last seasons of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, and both of them were severely lacking of quality and authenticity. And you're going to see why Rowling's involvement may not necessarily be a plus either, later in the video. Another thing we know is that we're going to see an almost entirely new cast. Although nothing has been confirmed yet, persistent rumors give us 3 new child actors for Harry, Ron and Hermione. Furthermore, Adam Driver is set to play Severus Snape, Helen Mirren has supposedly been casted for the role of Minerva McGonagall, and Tom Felton, who we of course know as Draco Malfoy, is set to return to play the role of his father, Lucius Malfoy. A more recent rumor even tells us that Lord Voldemort himself will be played by Cillian Murphy, the star actor which most of us will know from either Peaky Blinders or his recent movie Oppenheimer. I think Cillian is an amazing actor, so this is something to look forward to. The last casting for which rumors abound is that of Albus Dumbledore. He is supposedly played by Blair Underwood, which means that Albus Dumbledore will be black in this newest Harry Potter iteration. I've made it clear in the past that I am no fan of race-swapping major characters. And especially a series that proclaims to be a faithful adaptation should stay far away from these soft, modern antics. The only redeeming thing I can take away from this is that a possible race change of Dumbledore would at least not break the lore or the world building of the Wizarding World, as was the case with the race swap of House Velaryon in House of the Dragon. But this rumor about Dumbledore's supposed casting does bring me to my next question. Do we really need a remake of the original Harry Potter movies? Personally, I feel like we don't. The original movies are near perfect in my opinion, and are of the same standing as the Lord of the Rings trilogy. In my eyes, that is. There's almost zero chance that this new television series will improve on the original. So it seems to me that they have more to lose than to gain by this production, at least for the reputation of their IP. So why make it then? Well, the answer is money, of course. Warner Bros. CEO David Zaslav has made it abundantly clear in several interviews that he thinks too little is being done with the Wizarding World IP, and that he sees it as the flagship of Warner Bros. Future profits. So we're getting a new Harry Potter series, whether we want it or not. Which means we can better just take a look at what we can expect in quality. And the easiest way to do that is to compare some of the Wizarding World projects we've gotten over the last couple of years. Since the last original movie, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, aired in 2011, we have seen 3 major Harry Potter media productions. The first was the stage play Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which premiered in 2016. Also starting in 2016, we've gotten the 3 Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movies. And 2023 gave us Hogwarts Legacy, a fully fleshed out video game taking us to the Wizarding World. Let's start with the stage play and the 3 Fantastic Beasts movies. And we're going to start positive. The first movie of the 3, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, was received very well, both by the general audience and by the fandom. It was something new, something original, and I personally will say I liked it very much. The 2 movies that followed, however, felt more like a common cash grab than anything else. And the audience seems to agree. Where the first movie was still rated with a solid 7.4, both the second and third movie are rated between a 3 and a 4. It might be because of this reason that the production for more Fantastic Beasts movies has been shelved for the moment. Because originally there were meant to be 5. Could you imagine? The stage play, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, seems to have gotten a mixed reception. While the broader audience seems to love it, with a reception of 4 or 4.5 stars out of a possible 5, the more dedicated fandom is less happy with its performance, describing it as bad fanfiction and a sequel that the Harry Potter series simply did not need. On top of that, there are a lot of complaints that certain story elements are reused from the movies, such as Cedric Diggory's death and the use of a time turner, as we've seen Hermione use in The Prisoner of Azkaban. On top of all these criticism, it seems that both the Fantastic Beasts movies and the Cursed Child fall victim to the same soft modern and woke influences which we have seen many times before. I'm talking about the forced diversity castings, such as Hermione suddenly being black in the Cursed Child, and the, while never explicitly mentioned, gay attraction between Albus Potter and Scorpius Malfoy, and the character of Eulalie Lally Hicks, played by Jessica Williams, feels like she is only present to diversify the third Fantastic Beasts movie's cast. Now, before the comments start labeling me a racist and a sexist, I want to explicitly state that I respect everyone for who they are, no matter what the color of your skin is or who you love. But the diversity in Fantastic Beasts and the Cursed Child feels forced, almost like an afterthought. And that is what scares me for the future of this new Harry Potter series. Every fantasy adaptation we've seen over the last 10 years has fallen victim to the same woke influences. House of the Dragon, The Witcher, The Rings of Power, and I have a feeling the same is going to happen to this new Harry Potter series. I hope I'm wrong. The last project we should talk about is Hogwarts Legacy, which is simply fantastic. It respects the lore, it looks amazing, and it shows that it is possible to make a fantastic story in the Wizarding World without Harry Potter himself being present. And with a rating between an 8.5 and a 9.6, the audience seems to think the same. And do you want to know what the scary part is in these 3 projects? J.K. Rowling was heavily involved in both the Fantastic Beasts movies and The Cursed Child. She wasn't involved in Hogwarts Legacy, whatsoever. Hence the reason why I don't see her involvement in this upcoming series as a positive. All in all, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so I truly hope that this series will become a success. I'd like to be entertained by the Wizarding World with a series that will run for 10 years. I just hope it won't become a second Rings of Power. I'll guess we'll have to wait a bit before we get the chance to find out. The series is set to air in 2025 or 2026. In the meantime, I want to hear your opinions and expectations for this new Harry Potter series. Do you think it's going to be a soft modern disaster, like me? Or do you have higher hopes for this new iteration? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all very much for watching. See you next time.